Dai Cremo, dai Cremo, dai Cremo, dai Cremo, dai Cremona, dai Cremona, dai Cremo, dai Cremo. Nerazzurri fans from all over the world, welcome to the Interglobe. Yes, this is what I heard, especially when yesterday before the game we observed 1 minute of silence. I honestly don't know why we observed it, because we observed it in favor of a person that was a disgrace for the Italian Football Federation and who got his name into history by choosing a coach which didn't qualify for the World Cup. Well, I guess even people who did bad things should be honored. Anyway, the Cremonese fans were chanting this beautiful song that I learned and that I will always sing now, which basically means Dai Cremona, like go Cremona, with the harmony and the music of Country Roads, Take Me Home, John Denver, man. Okay, let's talk about Cremonese-Inter and about Lauti's show. It was Lauti's show, really, because the team in itself didn't play very well. But before getting to the game, a couple of pieces of statistics that are kinda worrying. First one, honestly, we're gonna win one Scudetto, the one with Conte, in the last 4 years, and with the team we have, it's unacceptable. We've had the best team of Serie A for at least a couple of years in a row, yet we haven't been able to win. Not only we handed the Scudetto to Milan, so this is unforgivable. Second piece of statistics, yesterday was the 14th game away from home in which we suffered and conceded a goal. Can you believe it? That's also appalling. And looking at the average dribblings per game in Serie A, Inter is in the last place, can you imagine, with 3.58, while, for example, Milan, who is first, has 7.63 attempts to dribble every game. This tells a lot also about our difficulty to free our men for scoring, because we can only do that by playing rather than by dribbling. So it's not easy, because we only have one strategic solution. We can't alternate them. Anyway, coming to the game, first half, first 7 minutes, 5 corner kicks, amazing pressure, but no goals. Not only no goals, then Cremonese scores the Euro goal, the goal of the season, with this incredible trajectory that couldn't have been taken by Onana, honestly, but that could have been prevented better by Çalhanoğlu. Anyway, then we tie the game on a corner kick after the deflection, the shot from Dzeko and the tap-in from Lauti. We were developing most of our offensive plays on the left wing, because Di Marco and Bastoni really showed great alchemy in between them, and on the other hand, on the right flank with Gaglia and Dumfries, we couldn't even ask for more, because honestly, technically, we have big limitations there. If you compare the skills of Di Marco and Bastoni with Dumfries and Gagliardini, you can understand that it's not possible even to do a nice give and go with a player like Gagliardini. And Dumfries, yes, he basically was very good in going into the spaces, in running on the flank, but when it came to crossing the ball, then it was always a disaster. He's one of the worst crossers I've seen in my life, honestly. He's like a magnet for the opponents. Every ball that he shoots to cross it goes to the opponents. It's really something that if I was in the coaching team of Inter, I would really put him on a pitch for days and days and days and days just to cross, because he needs to get better, and I believe he can get better, but the way he's making his choices is really not intelligent. Anyway, in the second half, after going on the 1-1 in the locker room, we were very good in coming back, in constructing some interesting plays, even though we always lacked the last touch. And then Lauti scored again this beautiful goal, a bit lucky with the assist from Dzeko, but it was a beautiful goal, and we go on 2-1 and we bring it on. But in the last minutes we even suffer a little bit, which is something that I was here watching the game and thinking, is it possible that we suffer in Cremona? I guess these days easy games are not in the menu, it's always difficult. Anyway, let's go to the players. Onana, 6, just one save that was not even particularly difficult, and all in all he was never called to do incredible saves because the goal we suffered was impossible to get. So Tiramolla Onana gets a 6. Darmian 6.5. I appreciate again the versatility of playing as a third in defense rather than on the flank, and he was not very good in the beginning when we suffered a shot and he didn't cover it properly, but he was very good in the second half in doing a header and saving our team. And so that play, and also he saved another goal, so I think he deserves for yesterday a 6.5 because he was very good. Better than the usual solid 6 that he gets, 6.5. Then Acerbi 6, very good in the back, apart from that yellow card that he could have avoided, honestly. And he even had a nice shot in the beginning of the second half, so he got his place in the starting lineup of Inter, and this goes to his credit, and he's performing consistently, unlike De Vrij, so it's a 6. Bastoni 7, very good. He was really, as we said, playing very well with Dimash Di Marco, with drone delivery Di Marco. He was going running in attack on the flank very often. He had a nice header on a corner. Twice actually he got the ball with his head from a corner. So all in all, a solid performance, better than last time, so he gets a 7. Bastoni 7. Dumfries 5.5. I mean, again, he's very good physically, he constructs the plays pretty well. He also sometimes loses the ball but then goes back and tries to regain it, so that's something that goes in his favor because he has the right grit. But the crosses were appalling. So 5.5. Gagliardini 6-. He was not that bad. He was again very hungry to regain the ball in midfield. He even, I have to say, because I noticed it, he had a couple of nice runs in which he proposed himself to his teammates, but honestly they didn't trust him and they didn't give him the ball, but the movements were something to be appreciated, honestly. So it's a 6-. Çalhanoğlu 6-, not well on the goal. He didn't mark the player up close as he should have, and it's not the first time that he does that. Very loose while marking. The crosses that he made, the corner kicks, were really peculiar yesterday, you know, like these long and high balls. I think it was a scheme, of course, because the Cremonese defense was marking not man on man but covering single areas of the penalty box, and so this kind of high ball was a way to kind of allow one of our players to head it in again, so that we could become dangerous more than just by crossing it in the middle. So these crosses were not bad. He also was good, but not as good as usual in defense, and he also got a yellow card that he could have avoided because honestly it was a foul and it was a yellow card. So okay, but not as good as usual, so it's a 6- for Çalhanoğlu. Mkhitaryan 5.5. He plays too much. He was very light in marking. He was in the shadow when we were constructing the game, and he even had 1 or 2 shots on goal which were not right, to say the least. So he's very, very tired. He plays a lot, and we can understand this, but all in all it's a 5.5. Di Marco 6.5, very good forward, not very good in defending. I particularly noticed one play in which inside the penalty box he had a player in front of him, and instead of following him and waiting for him to cross and then putting his hands in the bag. He started putting his hands in the bag in the beginning of the play. So he was running in the penalty box with his arms behind his back, and as you can imagine, that's not easy. And of course, he got overtaken by his opponent. We definitely have to notice that he made in the beginning of the second half that shot with the external part of the left foot, which was like a Roberto Carlos shot, an amazing shot. Pam, a volley, amazing, amazing. I loved it. And so all in all, it's a 6.5. As we are seeing, Di Marco doesn't have the stamina to play 90 minutes, but the hour he plays is really precious. Dzeko, 7. Amazing. Tired, but always amazing. He had a bad shot in the very beginning, then a great shot that was deflected by the goalkeeper and Lautaro tapped it in. Then again, he had a bad right foot shot in the end of the first half. In the beginning of the second half, a better shot from the outside of the penalty box. Then, honestly, he gained a penalty that the referee didn't give us. It wasn't a clear penalty, but it was a penalty. So this goes to his merit again, and he makes the assist for Lauti for the second goal. So it's a 7. I want to give him a 7+ even, because you know he's playing all the time. Basically, we have an attack that has 2 players, because Lauti and Dzeko, the Swan and the Bull. The rest is nothing. Correa is impalpable, and Lukaku is just the shadow of the player he used to be. So Dzeko deserves a 7+. Lauti 8. Man of the match, Lauti show, the Bull, amazing, amazing, amazing Lauti. Right spirit, he helps his teammates, he was so predatory on the first goal, always there, always the first to get the ball after deflection, you know, always there with his mind, with his instinct. He has a killer instinct. So great goal. Then in the second half, he had an amazing left shot that he made after falling to the ground and getting up in a matter of nanoseconds. So he's also like very fast and agile, reactive, amazing. And he also had a nice shot after deflection on Dima's shot in the first half, and of course he has the goal. He was a bit lucky, but he was there, he thought about it, and he shot in the right direction. So he basically brought the game home for us. So it's an 8 for Lauti. It's a pleasure to see you play like this, and I hope that your state of form will go on and continue up until the derby, at least, because we know that as everything in our squad, you also go up and down a lot. So before Christmas, you were basically never scoring. Now you're scoring every game. Let's hope that you can be consistent. But anyway, yesterday it's an 8. Thanks so much, Lauti. You're amazing. Substitutions. Aslani 6+, always alive, always electric, always wanting to show his personality and his skills. Very good. I love the way Aslani is playing, and less nervous than in the beginning, not always calling the ball, showing himself with his arms. Very good, swinging his arms around. So very, very, very good. Then we have Gosens, 5+. 5+, because he was yesterday, unlike usually, he was out of position all the time. Not only was not effective forward, he was even out of position when it came to defending. He was kind of running slowly backwards. I didn't enjoy the performance. Also because, listen, Gosens, we are waiting for you. We've been waiting now 1 year. It's okay, but you have to get better and better every game. You can't, against Cremonese, play like this. You didn't create one single opportunity. You didn't dribble once. I mean, try it. What the hell? 5+. Lukaku and Correa, they played too little to have a grade. Thank God, because the grade would be awful. Inzaghi 6. I think it was a good idea to insert Gagliardini in the starting lineup, because with the midfield that's very physical, the Cremonese's one, we couldn't face it with Aslani, Mkhitaryan and Chala. We needed somebody physically strong, so I think it was a good idea to insert Gagliardini in the beginning. In fact, he didn't play badly at all. I also enjoyed the substitutions that he made, because I think they were properly done and at the right time. For once, we didn't make substitutions after suffering a goal, but after making one. And also, The approach was good, and also we have to say, not to excuse Inzaghi, but for sake of being fair, that at this moment in time, Inzaghi has basically 11 players. I mean, in forward, we already said it, you know, we only have Lauti and Dzeko, Correa and Lukaku are ghosts. In defense, we only have Acerbi, Bastoni, and now Darmian, because Skriniar is psychologically destroyed and De Vrij is mentally destroyed. Midfield, we have, Aslani, but he doesn't trust him yet enough. So we have basically only Gagliardini, who is the player that we all know. Respectable but not outstanding. So, you know, Inzaghi is doing also very well with a limited amount of resources, and that's why I give him a 6. I can't give him more because in Cremona you have to put the game to sleep, period. Anyway, this is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please punch the like button and subscribe. Would be great if you could leave a comment as well, because I like to learn how to improve with my videos. And that's all. As always, Forza Magica Inter. Ciao!